Thank you for coming this evening. Sorry about the delay.
Divine Creator, we ask that the light of highest awareness fill the minds and hearts of those who are open to your light. We ask that they be assisted and strengthened in their resolve to achieve peace using peaceful means. May their minds, their hearts, and their actions reflect the divine will to good for all. Comfort, strengthen, and support those who are in a difficult situation in their mind, body, or spirit. Bring confidence to them that your divine hand is at work in their life. Amen.
Well, thank you for your patience here this evening. My name is Reverend Mary Huber, pastor of the Community Chapel of Holistic Healing. We are a non-denominational spiritual fellowship founded by Reverend Michelle Luson in 1977 so that we would be a light in the nation's capital. She was asked by Swami Sivananda in a vision that she had to begin the organization and be sure that it was in this position in the nation's capital. We are here always to help personal and global spiritual transformation. We have chapel services twice a month, and they are on a schedule on our website. And you can also find you can submit prayers for someone on that site and look for our schedule there. So if everyone, I believe, is on mute now, we will begin with our three healers, also known to us as that. They are actually affirmations of faith, hope, and charity, channeled by Michelle Luson, which were channeled from spirit so that all systems, energy systems of our body would come into balance. They are here. You might want to say them out loud to yourself while you're on mute. I believe in the spiritual existence of myself as a perfect image of the divine creator. In this reflection that is my physical embodiment, I have faith in the supreme guidance of my soul for my balance, my needs, and my opportunities. Outside of myself, there are also perfect images, and nothing can delude my thinking otherwise. The hope affirmation, acknowledging my faith in the omnipresence of my divinity, I hope for realization, awareness, and acknowledgement of the existence of the great I am within myself. And the charity affirmation, in understanding faith, in knowing hope, I pledge my actions, my desires, and my thoughts to the performances of myself on the physical planes of the earth, to honor, to love, and to enlighten all that is a reflection of the divine outside myself, so that my perfection is imaged back to my Creator. So help me God. And this evening, we'll begin with the meditation. So if you close your eyes where you are in your seat, and we will begin the process of going within. The breath takes us there because it gives us a relaxation response. So the deep breathing we will begin with, breathing in the light of higher awareness, and on the exhalation, distributing that light through every cell in your body. And the next breath, again, more light from higher levels, bring it in and distribute it everywhere in your body. And on the third breath, The divine light has opened and is now pouring through you, through the breath, out, not only into your physical body, but into all the other bodies of energy, which we are, and fills your aura with that divine light. And as we sit here comfortably, we begin to go to that special place of meditation within us. Many times people have a vision of going into their heart, the center where the cord, the silver cord, is connected to the divine above. That seed atom there in the heart. And using your imagination, you find yourself there in this vast chamber. The seed atom is expanded, and you see there a great crystal, a great amethyst. And that great amethyst is big enough for you to enter. And find yourself going within this gigantic crystalline formation. And around you is violet lights, not purple, but the heavenly violet, the lighter shades that are sparkling around you. They swirl and they sparkle. They entrance you. They relax you. You are within your own heart seed, the place where the divine connects. And now there is a golden ladder that descends from on high through the crystal. And you might find yourself taking a step up on the ladder and hold on to the rung. And it raises you up automatically. No effort on your part. And as you ascend, the violet colors around you become lighter and lighter to some dimension of celestial beauty, because you are ascending into much higher dimensions within yourself. You are calm and it is peaceful there. There is a sense of joy. There is a sense of love that comes over this experience. It is truly amazing. As you ascend within your own being, the dimensions of self beyond anything we know about here. And you come to the finest violet, and there is coming before you a gigantic figure of bright light who approaches you. You might identify this figure of light. It might identify itself to you. You know this figure. This is the figure of your divinity who protects you and guides you and who is you at that finer level. And you might now see a few other figures coming forward, brilliant lights in their own right. Your guides, the angels, archangels, those who are there for you. And you take many steps with them as you go even higher. Here you recognize the great lights around you were always there. And there is Saint Germain as well. And you might hear an affirmation familiar from him. He says, I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all into the golden mastery of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out onto the world to erase all errors, break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. And as you have taken this celestial journey to the height of your greatest awareness, we now understand our connection to all. The universe can be traversed at any time, going within to those finer levels to which we belong. It's a journey home. And now you find yourself returning from that journey by allowing the last words with your divine presence, with your guides, with those who have accompanied you. And they're sending you back with the blessings of the greatest blessings from the on high to continue your work here on the planet. This is important work. They recognize that. They accompany you back to your heart seed atom and are present with you now within that great crystalline formation of amethyst. And here they remain only for your bidding. And your heart expands with the greatest love that has been shared with you. It is something to be cherished, not only remembered, but kept as a permanent memory for the rest of this lifetime. And the many blessings of spirit are yours as they now recede to their dimensions from your mind's eye. You are now returning to the physical. And as you return, you feel a sense of joy, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of health, a sense of well-being. And you return refreshed and renewed. And when you're ready, open your eyes and rejoin the chapel. Okay. Well, this evening's talk that I would like to share with you is entitled Many Points of Light. You know, I feel fortunate to have lived in an earlier era where there were few airplanes in the sky. I lived in a small town, far from any airport. And as children, my brothers and I would lie in the grass and look up in the evening at the stars, and really enjoyed that experience. And of course, then anything that moved in the sky was always a wonderful shooting star, at least as far as we knew. And the stars were always points of light to us. And it generated a whole lot of awe, really, and respect for the vastness of the sky. Now, I would suppose most children can relate to this experience if they have had an opportunity in these days to look up and actually see the stars that do exist in the night sky. And as we grow older, learning, going to school, you learn that a star is a massive self-luminous celestial body of gas that shines by radiation derived from its internal energy sources. Well, that kind of takes the magic and the romance out of the moment, but the fact of light brings things back in place. Light is the manifestation of the creator of all things. It is the purity of the divine that instills itself into all creation. Light is a force that is manifest in diverse forms. Light is the substance of your I am presence, your own being that was created at a point in time and has an eternal existence from that point on. In every example of light, we can find our own divine reference. Our churches and temples and other spiritual sites throughout the world reveal the beauty of God's creations by using candles along with various celebrations and rituals. And when you see those in vast numbers, they are amazing. Our inner nature has to acknowledge light because it is how we are at the level of pure spirit. That's how we're made. We are pure light energy at our deepest foundational levels. For this reason, there are numerous celebrations of light throughout the world. One story that was always told here at CCWH, I think around in December, this time or at Christmas, recounted the Festival of Lights celebrated by the Jewish traditions, which is known as Hanukkah. This spiritual tradition was begun to commemorate the day when the Holy Temple was rededicated in Jerusalem. This event dates back to about 167 BC, when Antiochus, a Greek who had conquered the region, that had destroyed the temple and defiled the altar by using it to slaughter pigs. A rebellion was led by a priest, Mattathias, and his 5 sons. But he died within a short period of time, and his one son, Judah, known as Judah Maccabee the hammer, successfully overcame their oppressors, and the temple then was able to be rededicated and purified. In the ruins, only 1 vial of oil, still with the seal of the high priest, was left. This was to last only 1 day, 1 vial, 1 day. But when the lamp was lit with this oil, it miraculously lasted 8 days. And because of this miracle, these 8 days were appointed as a festival of thanksgiving. This is observed by lighting one candle each night to represent the 8 days in a candelabra known as the menorah. And this year, the Feast of Hanukkah overlaps with Christmas. It does occasionally, but this year it does. Now, another tradition commemorated by lighted candles is the Feast of St. Lucy. We don't hear much about this, but it is a Christian feast celebrated around this time of the year to commemorate Lucia of Syracuse, a 4th century virgin martyr who, according to legend, brought food and aid to Christians hiding in catacombs. So in order to carry as much food as possible, she put on her head a wreath that had candles in it to light the way so that her hands would be free. Now, this tradition still exists in various countries in the world. Scandinavia really embraced this, and as well as Italy. And she is known as Santa Lucia. In many of these areas, elaborate celebrations are still going on, which features either a woman or a group of young women representing Lucia, wearing a white robe and on their head a crown with a wreath of candles surrounding. Whether they're lit or not in this day and age, I don't know, but they always were. And the Feast of Santa Lucia is also celebrated in Hungary and Croatia, as well as in the Caribbean, by the way, because there is an island there, Saint Lucia, which was named after her. Now, another festival of light is Diwali. It is a dharmic religious celebration and one of the most important festivals within Hinduism, which is celebrated for about, I think, 4 or 5 days. It represents spiritual victory of light over darkness, of good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. The festival is widely associated with Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, and Ganesh, the god of wisdom and the remover of obstacles. Now, across the world in Thailand, the skies get filled with lanterns, known as floating lanterns, at this time. And the lanterns are made from rice paper, and the framework uses bamboo. A candle is tied within the frame, and on lighting it, the lantern floats into the sky because of the hot air that is trapped within it. And this is their festival of light, and it is understandably, with all of those that ascend, it's quite a spectacle. Now, in China, the Lantern Festival has been observed since the period of the Western Han Dynasty in the year 206 BC. They lit lanterns to worship the Buddha on the 15th day of the first lunar month. Now, it's said that this practice does celebrate and respect the Buddha and has been turned from a very small local celebration into a very large festival that swept across the country. Now, this festival, however, is not at this time of the year. It's usually in February, sometimes in March. And it takes on an unusual feature in that lanterns are placed in front of homes that are, the people put them there and they insert riddles inside. And people are supposed to walk by, look at the lanterns. That's the purpose of the lanterns, is to look at it and choose to look at the riddle that's there. And if they guess the right answer, the owner gives them a gift. Kind of reminiscent of a little bit of the Christmas gift giving, although it's a little bit off season. Now, in Lyon, France, at the Feast of the Immaculate Conception on December 8th, the Festival of Light is observed. It started there in 1852 when a statue to the Blessed Virgin was installed on Fortier Hill. And this was to ask for intercession in the face of much social unrest, recurring major floods, and radical urban change of some sort. But they felt threatened and they placed the statue there. So over the past 150 years, it gradually developed into a spectacular light show, not so much the remembrance of the reason for celebrating, I'm afraid. However, people from all over the world enjoy the beauty of the architecture of the area and the creations of magnificent nocturnal landscapes in Lyon every year for a period of 4 to 5 days. And it currently is being celebrated as we speak. It's in that time frame. I'm sure there are others. Those are probably the bigger celebrations of light, and they do coincide with this in this month usually. And here at CCWH, the references to the great cosmic light and the light of the sun beyond suns, you hear that here. The light of God manifests on every level of every creation. These dimensions of existence are without number. The physical light, as well as the spiritual light, comes from many multiverses and affects all of creation. We are one of those points of light within this eternal system of light. The amount of light energy that we exude is directly proportional to our spiritual development over time, throughout time. The I am presence of any one individual exudes so much light that it would astound any one of us were we to see it. The lower dimensions of the individual exist to understand the journey back to the I am presence within. This is why we're here, really, to find that way back to that glorious center of self, to the God self. It is also for the individual in embodiment to expand this relationship and to perform and conduct self so that the path back to God is illuminated with the mind and heart of devotion and dedication to that cause. Each year, as we approach the Christmas season, it is easier to remember to call in this greater cosmic delight to guide us up. As we release our lower attachments to thoughts and activities of lesser quality, we are approaching an understanding of the sacredness of all life. As we acknowledge this, the light that resides in us at those inner dimensions is able to stream out from us in an expanded way. Now, we, as a point of light, are affecting the world in so many unknown ways because of this light. In these accelerated times of great change, which is leading into a new world of expression of the Christ consciousness, our light is particularly important. More than ever, we seek to know the truth, not only of our own personal existence, but that of the world. Saint Germain has said that the desire for light and truth is the presence of God in the desire, and this will propel us into right action. He has recommended that we use this compelling call to say, I am the full comprehension and illumination of the thing that I want to know and understand. These various affirmations are powerful and are calling to the divine light within us to respond. In one of his discourses, he said it was time that we recognize that there are great electronic belts encompassing all creations from the Godhead down through to the individual. When an individual has sufficient comprehension of the divine self and would surround themselves consciously with this electronic belt or circle, it would be a source of protection as well as expression of higher energy. This circle of divine energy, once generated, then cannot be penetrated by anything but divine love. Those great divine beings in the inner planes are also part of that energy and will be part of your everyday activities. It is said that the individual who clothes themselves in this armor of the divine love can go forward without obstruction. Nothing can obstruct the power of divine love. In this way, our light can shine out to the world so much more effectively. Those who wish to help the nation should send these currents of light out to conditions in the environment, everywhere, in official places, everywhere, like it is an intelligent flame, and command that we are doing it to work for the protection and upliftment of all the children of earth. You know, we can command from our divine self, and it will be done. Because your light, it's like a current of consuming electronic sacred energy. However, it must be understood and activated by you before you can claim it as such. So your prayers, your devotions, your conscious alignment with your sacred God presence within are your own contributions to the light that needs to increase in the world in order to get us through to the new fifth dimensional energies of the Christ consciousness, and of course, to keep us there. In meditation, you can use a candle and light it to engage your consciousness, which in turn will remind your mind and heart of the mission at hand. As we keep that in mind, it might be easier to see the light in another and to acknowledge the God presence within that individual. Namaste. At this time of the year, it is an invitation to express joy as well. I read somewhere that it's not so much depending on circumstances in our life, whether we have joy, but on the quality that we are expressing in our life. Joy is also said to unlock a sense of purpose and hope, which ultimately releases us from our restrictions and our spiritual poverty. Joy and happiness are also an expression of our thankfulness and gratitude for our life and what we have been given. I believe these are codependent. So in your next meditations, remember to lock in your divine intent and ask your subconscious to remember that you are truly a being of light, that you are one with your divinity, and your pure intent is to manifest these qualities, and in that way, share in the creation of the kingdom of God on earth. And so it is. At this time, if anybody would like to ask a question or share anything, we can share later after the recording, but I'm just wondering if anybody has a question or wants to share something. You're invited. But in the meantime, thank you for being part of this conversation tonight. I'm sure we'll have some more later, and being part of this program. If you are able to go to our website, you might find there some information that would be of interest to you and keep up with our activities. But we also would appreciate any donation that you might care to give us using the PayPal. There's a button there to press for PayPal. We would greatly appreciate your support. As it's coming toward the end of the year, if you have any donations that you would like to include in your claim on your taxes for next year, we are a nonprofit organization. We'd be happy to support you in that. And it would so much help us in some of the expenses that we have. So thank you for that. And we have a lovely group of people who have supported us through all these years. Many of those are not on here, but those we were able to capture were placed here some time ago in some of the celebrations that we were able to get to when we were meeting in person. We hope that will continue somewhere down the line, that we can again gather as a group in a room. And we have always ended with our music of Let There Be Peace on Earth. And I'm sorry that this media does not support us singing that because I do miss our version of the song that brings us all together as a community, as a family, as a spiritual family. So I hope you will come back again to the next meeting that we have. Will be on the eve of New Year's Eve, the 23rd. We will celebrate our Christmas service. So I hope you will be able to return and share with us the divine light of community at that time. Thank you so much for coming.